Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Revival of America podcast. This is Jenny. I'm the owner and the host of the Revival of America. Today we have Field Mcconnell in the house, everybody. So please feel free to raise your hand if you have a question for Field, and I will call on you, and you can ask your question to Field at some point in this podcast. Or if you cannot speak, please write your question underneath where I have posted his books, or you can go on up there. There's two posts right there where you can a Field and a copy of his book with Field of Honor with Denise on it. So you guys can put your questions in the comment areas there, and I will read your questions to Field at some point as well. Also, to everybody, please be careful who you listen to, who you follow. We're seeing it happen, guys. We are seeing people turn on Trump. The recent one I saw this morning was Ryan Garcia, the professional boxer. He was very supportive of Trump, and now he's turning on him. There's so many that are coming out. There was a lot of stuff that happened last night at the Grammys. We've got that Trevor guy, Trevor Noah. Now Trump is going after him and going to be suing him for, I believe, saying that he was on the Epstein island or something like that, or the list or something like that. Just be careful, everybody. Now more than ever, we are going to need the supporters of Trump to stand up and be loud, because they are going to do everything and anything. You're going to start seeing the Hollywood people start really backing, against the ICE, against the Border Patrol, against our president, his administration, and basically saying that everything, as always, that he's doing is wrong, which we know is not true, guys. There's more positive out there happening than there is negative. So please, everybody, focus on that, because when you break it down, you will see all the positives that he has done. And the White House, they have an account over there on X. If you're not following it, do follow it, because Caroline Levitt comes out and does a weekly breakdown of the wins for that week, guys. So please be careful what you're listening to, guys, and what you're putting in your mind, and who you decide to follow or not. And really watch your posts, because with this AI and the manipulation of a lot of these posts that are coming out, you really got to kick your discernment in high gear, guys. I'm telling you, it's wild. I have been having to eject myself, bounce out of some of these spaces that, maybe I go in frequently, or I listen to some of these people frequently. I had to pop out of one the other night because I felt like I was in just a real bad, like, negative black pilling, like the noise. I tell you guys to stay away from the noise. I have to stay away from the noise. And some of the noise I'm hearing is from some of the people that I'm following. I mean, I was just like, I'm dizzy listening to it. I'm over it. It's so, they're just stuck. They're circling the drain about what really, yeah, the Epstein files matter. That's huge. And what's coming out is huge. But the whole, like, trying to put Donald Trump on that whole scenario that he went to the island, he's been on the flight logs and all this stuff, that's all been debunked. It's already come out of what his tie to was, that whole situation, and how he was the one that turned in Jeffrey Epstein, and Jeffrey Epstein didn't really like Trump, and how, why was Trump hanging around him and all these parties. You have to keep friends close but enemies closer. He was approached a long time ago, you guys, to do what he's doing for we the people, because they knew he couldn't be bought. So he had to get in with the evil, right, and know their ins and outs of everything. And he did just that. So he had to make it look like he was solid with those people. But now, guess what? He's using their weapons that they weaponized against us and him and his family. He's taking those and he's using them against them. So please remember that, guys. And I can't tell you enough, guys. I'm cleaning house. I have, just through the course of my channel here, I have blocked 7,000 people almost just here in this channel. Because why? Because they either come in and they request to join. They're here. They want to listen. Great. You're here. Stay. Don't be the revolving door. Don't come in, request, and then leave after you've heard some person, because I'm going to block you and I'm going to ban you from my channel, because you look like a troll, you look like an agitator, and more now, everybody, that is what we're seeing. I've seen a lot of agitators come in here within my channel, especially on the chat channel, where they post stuff or say stuff. I'm removing it. So because I want to, my goal is to obviously protect myself, my guests, and you, the members that are here. So I'm telling you guys, please be careful. If you are here, I am glad you're here because it's because of you guys that the revival of America can happen. But if you're going to be that person that I'm going to just try to go see everybody and anybody I can follow, listen, I don't want you in here because honestly, I'm telling my audience, it used to be 3 to 5 people, 1 to 3 people, guys, because people are falling at the side, showing their true colors. And I am even a little bit. I'm shocked, to be honest with you, at some of these things that some of these people that I even have followed for a while are saying. I do believe that there are a lot of useful idiots out there, and they're playing their part. And I think a lot of people would agree with that, and you can see that more and more on a daily basis. But for you guys, everybody, you need it's gonna get wild in the coming days, weeks. You think we're seeing it hard now, and it's rough. It's gonna get rough for everybody. And Trump, I think, is about to lay his hand down when it comes to the 2020 election. A lot is coming out about that, and I believe there's gonna be an executive order that he's gonna be signing regarding that here very, very soon. I'm gonna hopefully crossing my fingers. Juan and I were talking about him coming on Friday. I want him to touch a lot on that 2020 election. So, for successful and have that podcast, because we know Juan is very busy. He's back and forth in and out of the country, but I think he's very imperative to for many of you guys to listen to. So I will say, if you're not following Juan O'Savin, whether you like how he takes you through the journey or not, Juan O'Savin has been one of the top people out there that has been saying everything that we're seeing come to fruition. So for those haters out there that have been talking smack about Juan, guess what? I hope you're getting that freaking smack in the face right now. That boomerang for you, because he has been spot on. And then of course, everybody follow Donald Trump, because I'm telling you again and again and again, he's telling you without telling you. First and foremost, to follow our Lord and Savior above. He is the most important because at the end of the day, this is his plan. We are witnessing his hand in all of this. So hang tight, everybody. Fasten those seatbelts because it's wild. I'm even like shaking my head in dizziness. I'm telling people, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just listened to that. I feel dizzy. Like I have to literally bounce out of some of these comment boxes, chat rooms, spaces, whatever it is, because I can't believe what I'm listening to. I'm just blown away. So be careful, everybody. Please be careful. And of course, if you're here at the Revival of America, I'm glad you're here. We are bringing good information. I'm being told that we are on track. We are on a good track. My guests are consistent. They stay with what their message has always been, and they're giving my audience a lot of great information. So I'm being told that I'm gonna stick and stay with what I'm doing. I'm going to just continue to bring on people to tell their stories, their journeys, and bring on the guests that I've had on. I'll bring on new ones such as Jason last week with 3D response systems, because what he's doing for our children in these schools is an amazing thing. It's unfortunate that we've gotten down so far that pathway, but this is the world we live in right now, and I know everybody is concerned about their children at schools these days. And I witnessed myself on Friday the walkout. This must have been a national walkout for the high schools, middle schools, even. Teachers out there supporting it, encouraging the kids to do it. So, from what what I'm being told, everybody, when it comes to these walkouts that we saw on Friday, if you saw them, if your child was not a part of it, God bless them. They are smart and they are on the right side of things. But I'm telling you, the teachers, what do I say? From the lowest of the low to the highest of the high, they're going after you. If you're playing in this nefarious agenda, they're coming for you. So now, guess what? They're going after the superintendents, the principals, and the teachers of the schools that allowed this to happen and allowed their students to walk out, because it was just, yeah, from what I understand, whoever wasn't a part of it, they're good. The repercussions are going to be coming for the people that encouraged it. And I did read yesterday, unfortunately, I did see that there were 2 students that I don't know what happened, but I'm going to research that today. But unfortunately, lost their lives. So this is why I say stay out of it. If you see something, I mean, I drove right by. There was a line. There were the police officers there. It looked like parents were out there either supporting the protest or maybe looking for their kids because they found out their kids had skipped school to go do this. So it was crazy. But it was all students, high school students, and middle school students. Everybody, middle school. And I'm saying, as a parent, and for you parents out there, if you have kids in school right now, and if you have, and everybody's telling me the same thing, get them out of these public schools because they are teaching they are walking our kids right through right to a cliff. And I feel bad for these kids because they probably really don't know what it is they're protesting. I saw some signs: defund ICE, Trump's a pedophile, all the bullshit, guys. Our kids, middle school kids. I was just, it took everything for me not to roll down my window and say something, but I didn't, because got to practice what I preach, right? The police were there, they were handling it. So from what I saw, I don't know how long it was going on prior to me driving into it, but once I got back from where I was going, it had been diffused. The kids were, going their separate ways and doing what they needed to do. So I don't know, man. God bless you guys as parents that have kids that are in school right now, because I know it's just as hard for you as it is for the kids that are just being led blindly. So I pray for all you guys and continue to pray for our kids, because at the end of the day, this is what it's about. It's about our children, and right now they're being led to the cliff, and it's scary. So just be careful, everybody. Just be careful again who you're listening to and who you're following, because I'm telling you, they're coming after you. I don't give a shit who you are. If you are playing in this agenda, they're coming for you. Your time, it's TikTok, guys. Your time is up. So also to everybody, we're being listened to in over 100 countries. We are making a lot of great positive noise. And I want to thank my guests for coming and bringing the heat always, as well as you, my audience. Thank you for always wanting to participate, be a part of the Revival of America, because again, it's because of you this can happen. So if you want to follow us on any of the podcast hosts or the social medias, or send this any of the podcasts to a family or friend that's maybe trying to figure out what the heck's going on, please follow the podcast host on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, Apple, Google, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Podbean, Riverside, Amazon Music. Social medias are Jenny Dreed Facebook at Jenny_Dreed X, at JDreed Rumble, at JDreed True Social, at JDreed Instagram, The Revival of America over on YouTube, The Revival of America, of course, right here on Telegram. Also, check out the website, everybody. It's a work in progress, but we are there. We are working on it. Therevivalofamerica.com. There's a page for the children. There's a page for John, a page for Fields, a page for Carrie Kasem and her all natural skincare, and then a little bit of a bio about me. You can listen to the podcast over there as well. But again, that's therevivalofamerica.com. And for those of you that have reached out to me in regards to Fields books, the it's right there at the bottom of the wall, everybody. That's how you can purchase either one book individual or a set of them. So if you have any questions, please email me at the revival of America at yahoo.com. And if you have any questions regarding that, I can guide you through it. Also, too, when it comes to John Baxter, he'll be on later this afternoon. If you have questions or want to go see John, or get in touch with him and his staff regarding what he's doing over there with the frequencies and technology, the true healing, everybody, reach out to me again at the revival of America at yahoo.com. All of my emails, or everything that you have and a question for me or concern, email me there, because I'm centralizing everything, because I'm that busy that it's easier for me to answer you guys over there. But for submissions, if you want to get your voice and your story on the show, submit your story to TROA submissions at yahoo.com. I do vet them. I do read through those stories to make sure they're legitimate, because I've had stories that are just fake stories, believe it or not. People just wanting to try to feel relevant and get on the show and just feed bullshit, right? And you know me, I'm not about bullshit. I won't do it. But yeah, send them to TROA submissions at yahoo.com. And I will email you if I think it's legitimate. We'll get your voices, your stories on the show, because remember, everybody, it's your voice, your stories that matter and are going to help get us through, shape the new world that we're coming into. So I know that was long, everybody, but I think it's imperative. And you're probably going to hear that from a lot of the people that you follow here in the coming days. Uh, just we need to get louder, everybody. We need to get louder than these these dum dums out there, you guys. I'm trying to watch my language, but it's really hard when you see this stuff that they're pushing. And man, I can't wait for them to take down the media because they are the biggest enemy that we face here right now. So I want to say God bless you all, and just keep doing what you're doing. And thank you very much for always being here. And welcome, Field. How are you, my friend? I know that was long. I apologize, but I think again, like I said, it's important for people to know this stuff. Go ahead, Fields. Are you there?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot to push my button.
You're fired.
Um,
How
yeah,
are you?
I'm not fired. Did you say I'm fired?
I did. You're fired.
Oh, well, that's okay. You didn't pay me anyway, so up yours. Uh, you know, whatever that means. Um, no, I've got two, which I think are very significant statements to make, and you're probably aware of both of them. But if not, grab your ankles. Here it comes. Uh, well, you sent me a link where somebody said that I reported that Jeffrey Epstein had been switched out by the U.S. military the day before he was uh, supposedly executed. And that's true. I mean, he was switched out, and I reported it. And thank you for pointing that out to people. But something in today's news, um, JFK Jr. has been identified as the vice president of the Constitutional Republic of the United States of America. Have you read that, or would you like me to send you the link?
Fields McConnell, no, I have not. That's freaking wow. Like I just got the chills you saying that. Where did you hear that? Yes, please send it to me.
Okay, it's whatever this thing we're on now is, Telegram,
Yeah.
and it's under Angel Mother. And somewhere deep down, I mean, she's got so much shit on there. I get exhaustive, uh, comatose behavior because I can't take in that much information. But when I saw that there was an article claiming that JFK Jr. was the current vice president, it made me quite happy because I've been saying for quite a long time that J.D. Vance is a fucking imposter.
So, yeah, send that to me if you don't mind. I kind of want to look at it before I put it out there because, and I'm not saying it's not a real thing, but I guess because AI is really being pushed out there. We gotta double triple check everything. But back to your comment about what I sent you about Rubber Duck and about you talking about Jeffrey Epstein. Remember, everybody,
Yep.
too. I'm going to put it on the wall that 2 months prior to them saying that Jeffrey Epstein had passed, Hillary's brother passed 2 months prior to that. And if you look at her brother and Jeffrey Epstein, very huge resemblance. So we can see there that potentially, because a lot of people say he's alive, right? Could he have been switched out with that individual? Because with the files that are coming out, everybody, there's a whistleblower saying that he was within that prison, and they saw that, or he saw the night of, I believe, him supposedly dying, being wheeled out in shackles to like a car area or something like that, and then he didn't see him after that, and then that's when they said that he had hung himself. So yeah, definitely, if you don't mind sending that to me, I would love to look at it, Fields.
Okay, and just to fill in the blanks for it, you just said the eyewitness to the Epstein issue said that he was shackled in a medical wheelchair and put into a van, and that another van that was not authorized to be there came to drop somebody off the same night. And so I think you're doing a great service to America, Jenny, and it's my pleasure to be here as one of your little elves.
Wow, you're not a little. You're probably one of my bigger. If you want to call yourself a, did you say an elf?
Yeah, an elf. But the plural of elf is elves, Elves, which is really close to Elvis. So I don't mind being called a elf or an elf or elves. Call me whatever you want, but call me a friend of Trump and a child of God, please.
Amen to that. Thank you for that, Fields. So everybody, so Field, did you want to? So I don't know. Let me see if I posted that. What I posted or I sent to you regarding that you were the first person to say that about Epstein. I don't know if I did or not. Okay, I'm gonna grab that from my X account over there, guys, and then I'll grab the one too about Hillary's brother. So before we go into questions, Field, do you want to maybe touch on anything that's happened with you in the last week, or besides the great news here about JFK Jr., you want to touch on anything?
No, I think, you know, I think that sometimes less is more. And if you don't try to water everything down by saying it's all true and it's all important, well, just, save those superlatives for when something is earth shattering. And if Jeffrey Epstein is still alive, that would not surprise me because on the day he was allegedly deceased, I said, no, he wasn't. The military switched him out. And I was correct. And then today I read that something else significant happened, and that is that it was published that JFK Jr. is currently the vice president, which makes me prouder than a peacock because I've been questioning JD Vance all along. He's a nobody and he's on my radar. And if he's on my radar, he's not in a good place.
Well, and that a lot of that is being talked about over there on X as well. So this is what and Field has talked a lot about this, everybody. So um you know me, I kind of just kind of I don't get into the who's dead or who's alive because I do believe or who's wearing a mask and who's not. Although, sometimes things, deserve more attention than others, right? But this is being talked about over there a lot on X, and I think a lot of what's been happening with the TPS USA coming to fruition, a lot of people are starting to, because they were bothered by how it was all handled by Erica and then JD, just things didn't look right. And now people, this is what happens, right? People start questioning. I always also, too, and I think I've said it to you guys, maybe not, but I say it a lot over there when I'm speaking in X. 72-hour rule, guys. When somebody comes out with something, let the 72-hour rule come out, right? Because in those Epstein files, now I did post it and I almost retracted, but I kept it. Um, one of the emails that's coming out right now is regarding Marco Rubio. I have always sat on the fence about Marco. I do believe he's doing a great job right now, but I also too believe that there are a lot of people out there that are useful idiots. I say that often, right? Being used as useful idiots. We know Trump comes out, shines a light on these people, and the more they talk, the more they expose themselves. Well, the email, and I don't know if I put that one on the wall here or not, but I will. I think I did. But the email coming out is showing that the Russia dossier equals Marco Rubio, that apparently he was the head of that. So again, I almost hesitated on posting that, but because I sat on the fence a little bit about him, I did post it. Maybe I'll retract it because I say the 72 hours because we know a lot about these Epstein files back not too long ago when they were trying to put them out there. They redacted a lot of stuff, right? Well, some gal figured out how to go and get the redactions off of there and show you the real files, right? And a lot of us saw those years ago when this first came out, the list and all that kind of stuff. And we saw some of these emails that might be surfacing right now. But I always say 72 hours because a lot of people like to jump on the bandwagon and say, I was the first one to report that. Listen, if people are just continue saying, well, I told you, I was the first one, I was the first one. I would say run. Be careful because it's not about being the first person or the 100th person that tells you. It's the fact of trying to figure out if it's fact or not, right? So just be careful, guys. There's a lot of people out there doing that as well. It doesn't even matter. So, because again, the truth always comes out, and these people always do eventually expose themselves, and we are seeing that even with just the fake podcasters and fake influencers. So just be careful. But yeah, I did post that on the wall about it was Rubber Duck actually that posted it regarding Hillary's brother. And then I'm gonna post also what Rubber Duck posted regarding Field being the first one to talk about Jeffrey Epstein. So you guys have questions? We'll go into questions right now. I know Field likes to do Q&A. So please start raising your hands if you have questions. I see that Cal raised her hand. So Miss Cal, go ahead. Your mic is unmuted.
Good afternoon. I have two
Hello.
questions for Field today, and I have a comment. First, I'll start with my comment. I would encourage everybody to go look at the Melania documentary. Documentary is loaded with comms. And the first song that starts the movie is done by the Rolling Stones, and it's called Give Me Shelter. And please read the lyrics of that song. All through the documentary, there's a lot being told to us. My question to you, Field, today is two. One, is Princess Diana related to JFK Jr.? And my second question is President Trump a general?
President Trump is more than a general, and I know I'm putting the second question in front of the first, but President Trump actually is the commander in chief. So he tells the generals what to do. But I think a more significant question would be if you would ask me who Donald Trump's biological father is. Go ahead.
Who is Donald Trump's biological father?
The general during World War II that said that they were going to march through Germany and France like crap through a goose. And I think his name was George C. Scott. Does that sound familiar?
Yes, also known as General Patton.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. General Patton. I think General Patton was a dominating general. And see, generals are supposed to dominate. That's what Marines do too. If I were in charge of the Marine Corps, I would change their motto to dominate or die because that's what the Marines do. And if they have good leadership, if they have good generals, they can dominate anybody. And that's why the Marine Corps is kept around because it's the only military force in America that can be deployed on foreign soil without permission from Congress, which means that Donald Trump, whether you look at him as a general or as the president, he can order military force to go on to foreign soil and kick ass and take names, which is what the military is supposed to do. And if that offends somebody, I'm sorry, but the United States military was not designed to placate you or to massage your feelings. The U.S. military was designed to dominate or die. And I've been around the U.S. military since I was born 76 years ago, and I'm not dead yet, and I've never dominated anything. I would be more than happy to serve uh, Donald John Trump in a more personal relationship. But at some point, I hope I live long enough that I can get a copy of the 350 letters that I wrote to Donald John Trump during his first experience at the White House, where he was POTUS 45, then he was POTUS 46, then he was POTUS 47, which he is today. And I'm going to make a statement which could sound political. I don't mean it that way. I would gladly die for Donald John Trump. I think he is the um, most refreshing leader I've seen in my experience. And I've been around the military since I was born into a career Air Force family back in 1949. So I'll get off my high horse now. And if Donald John Trump or his wife or the White Hats get this message, I'm volunteering for whatever's dangerous because that's how much I respect President Trump. Over to you, Jenny.
Thank you, Field. Cal, did that answer your questions?
Yes, the other question I asked you, Field, was is Princess Diana related to JFK Jr.?
That I don't know, but by the end of the day, I will find out. It would not surprise me in the least because a lot of these people, which are today's royals, and keep in mind that Princess Diana is a royal. The rest of those MFs, I think you guys know what MF stands for, and it's not Field Mcconnell, but the rest of those MFs over in the English fake royals, they're not royals at all. They're bullshitters. And if they can't bullshit me, they're not very good bullshitters. So, and I wouldn't use that term around Jenny, but you know, I just got a message from somebody. I hope it's not the political correctness committee. I didn't look at the message, by the way. Yeah, no, I really don't give a shit what anybody thinks. I'm me. My name is Field Mcconnell. I stand by myself if I have to, but I do stand and I don't kneel. And if I were to kneel, it would be to kneel only to God or his son, uh, because that's who I serve. And so I'll try to find out if there's a relationship, Cal. Oh, and by the way, I got to give you a compliment, Cal. When we were getting ready to start this segment of the show, I was going to ask Jenny if it was possible for her, Jenny, to ask Cal to give us the first question. And I didn't get a chance to ask that, but look what happened. You got the first question anyway. In fact, you got the first two questions, and I answered the first one, and I'm going to take a delay while I research the second one. Over to you, Cal or Jenny.
Oh, great. And I'll be looking forward to next week chiming in with you and see if you got that answer. Thank you so much.
You're very
Thank,
welcome, Cal.
thank you, Cal. And
Go
Field,
ahead.
yeah, yeah. Do you want to send? Did you send me that thing regarding JFK Jr.?
No, not yet, because I've been busy.
Okay.
Uh, but I can, and it's on Telegram, and it's under Angel Mother, and it's pretty deep down. But I can do it either during the show or after the show.
Yeah,
But
you can
I'll get
just
it done.
yeah, you can just send it to me afterwards. I wanna do my own research into that as well. So thank you. All right, let's
Okay.
see. Let's see. Okay. Also, too, I want to let everybody know real quickly. Captain Kyle's going to be back on with us this week, guys, on Wednesday, back at his regular time slot, 5:30 Central Standard Time, and then Dallas will be next Wednesday, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, FYI on that. Okay. Go ahead, Mark. Your mic is unmuted.
Well, hello to Field and hello to Jenny. I just hope you can hear me okay. I'm in my car, just got back from a funeral. But and I want to also say hello to my new friend Cal, who just spoke. And But I wanted to talk about Field had mentioned that JD Vance is an imposter, which he is, and I know his story. And but I believe the entire cabinet basically are imposters. He did it in his first term. I'm convinced he did it again. You know, Jenny, you mentioned Marco Rubio. You weren't sure about him. I wasn't sure about him either. I wasn't sure about any of these people, you know. And I just think maybe they're just part of the movie of the corporation. And he's got a separate cabinet, as Field mentioned, JFK Jr. being his vice president under the Republic, which is not disclosed. I even go as far as to say that the guy from Oracle that gave the $6 billion and the guy from Apple that also gave all that money, these were bad people. Okay, there ain't no lie. These were bad people, and he has done it again. It appears to me. One more thing I say about JFK Jr., which you guys may disagree with me on, but I have seen him, what I call the real JFK Jr. looks exactly spitting image of JFK. Showed up on November 22nd in Dealey Plaza. A friend of mine went. I couldn't go, and he told his full story about how he was put aside in protection, and then he ended up being trafficked. And the guy that we think is JFK Jr. is George Onassis. And if you look at their pictures side by side, the guy with the jet black hair is George Onassis. And he even made a magazine, opened up this magazine, George. That's why they call it George. And so in some ways, he's an imposter. And I'm just telling it like it is. I am saying this with 95% certainty. And I just wanted to put it out there.
So
How do
wait,
you
wait,
do it,
wait,
Phil?
wait, hold on a minute, Mark. Who's an imposter? Because I'm not who.
Well, George Onassis is playing JFK Jr. I mean, George Onassis is probably a good guy, and I know that he was with Trump many years ago and all of that. But if you look at the side-by-side pictures, and you look at he's online right now, JFK Jr., the guy he calls himself that, and he is a spitting image of JFK, and he tells this whole story, and it's very believable to me. It was believable to my friend. He showed up at Dealey Plaza, and a lot of people came. But the George Onassis thing, look, all of a sudden, he went from blonde to a jet black hair. He opened up a magazine called George. I'm telling you, we're looking at this whole thing just play out. Trump's the good guy. He knows what's going on. He's doing it for a reason. He did it in his first term. He's doing it again. You know, you have questions about Marco Rubio. So do I. I have questions about Susie Wiles and everybody in that.
Well, yeah, no, I do too. And just remember, everybody, I mean, obviously, this is just our opinions, okay? So this is not, like I don't like to put anything out there as fact or, have my guess, unless they, like have been there seeing it. So what Mark is saying, I mean, that's his opinion and that's what he's heard or seen. So I just want to put that out there, everybody, because again, we've done a lot of research, but again, it will all come to fruition and show itself if it's supposed to. But remember, all this stuff that we speak is in our opinion.
Okay, we'll go with that. And Field, I just wanted to ask you, I was thinking on the way home, I just came from a funeral, and here in Houston, we have Bush Intercontinental Airport, and we have the LBJ Library here in Texas. I like to see those names changed in the biggest way. I'm just wondering who you would like to see changed.
Both of them. George H.W. Bush, the reason he's not in Arlington Cemetery is partially because of me, because I contacted the Trump White Hats several years ago and said that both of my parents were buried in Arlington, and I really would consider it an affront to my parents' legitimacy if George H.W. Bush or John McCain, either one of them, were allowed to be buried there. And guess what? Neither one of them were allowed to be buried there. And if I'm the only one that requested it, that on the one hand, that would surprise me. But on the other hand, it would make me feel good because I'm not afraid to make claims against a president who's a notorious child trafficker. That's G.H.W. Bush, as well as a undeclared foreign national, because he's a German, and on top of that, his father was a Nazi. And how many people in America have read a history book, either at the high school or college level, that said George H.W. Bush was a child trafficker and a traitor? I'll make those claims right now publicly, and nobody can cause me to eat my words, because my mother used to have a great term: I don't chew my cabbage twice. No, if I say it, I'll stand by it. And I think about what I say before I say it. So now I'll say something that Mark will probably like. Are you familiar with 107?
I sure am.
Do you know why he uses number 107?
107 days to something. I'm trying to remember. It's also
Yeah,
something in
let me
gematria.
help you. Yeah, 107 days between his birth and the supposed assassination of his father, John F. Kennedy.
Yes. It's also something in gematria, 107, if you're familiar with the gematria.
There's plenty of people listening right now that know how to contact me. And if any of them, in fact, I think I know somebody that I could email, and she's a female in Florida, and I'm not going to identify her. You know, people can identify me anytime, because I'm fairly distrusting of people that hide behind aliases. So I'm Field Mcconnell, period. I'm not some alias. Uh, I'll stand by myself. I'll stand with God. I'll stand with Trump, and I'll stand with women, and I'll stand with children. Uh, you know, I think I know who the good people are, and I'm pretty sure I know who the bad people are. And if the bad people are not afraid of me, they should be. Over to you, Mark.
Amen. That's all I can say to that.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. So yes, in regards to what I was just saying, so Field McConnell is a whistleblower, so he knows a lot of stuff, right? So not to say that Mark doesn't. I just, I don't like to put things out there that I haven't, I just don't, that are in fact, right? You know what I mean? Because a lot of us have our own opinions about certain things. So do I believe that that's a possibility with Mark? Absolutely. Now, Field, on the other hand, he's a whistleblower. He can come out and tell you actual facts that he knows about, he's dealt with. Not to say that Mark's not. I want to clarify that. But at the end of the day, we just have to be, because we know we have people out there that are saying that they're JFK Jr. And they're not. And I think one of them, it's a Quigley guy or something like that. I don't know. But again, that's why I don't try to get too much tied up into that, because I think at the end of the day, it's all going to come out. It's going to reveal itself if it's supposed to. No differently with the people that are alive or whatever it may be. Right? I was talking to my mom about this the other day. If they want to come out and come out of the life that they've been living for so long, then they will. But from what I'm told, that some people will not do that because they just want to continue on with their life that they've been living. So I think we just have to be a little bit careful and putting things out there. And I'm not talking about you, Fields, because I know you're a whistleblower. I'm just saying, in general, as if it's fact, because that's what's happening with a lot of people. People are putting stuff out there as factual when maybe really it may not be. And Mark, I'm not saying this about you either. I'm saying in general, and this is what we just have to be careful of. So Fields consistent with his message. Mark comes in here all the time, and his message has always been the same, and he shares thoughts and things that he's researched, and maybe others. So that's all I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus here. Just want to make sure that's clear, because we know a lot of people like to go out there and twist people's words. So that's not what I'm doing. I want to say thank you, Mark, for your information always. And then, of course, Fields always bringing the truth to us as well. So hopefully I clear that up for anybody that might have questions.
Well, can I add something to what you said?
Of course.
Yeah. I don't know how many American citizens can say they were wrongfully arrested unlawfully and incarcerated or detained for 16 months, never having been proven guilty of even a misdemeanor. And I'm that guy. And if anybody in America wants to take me on, come and get it, because I will stand by my statement that I'm the guy that was arrested on the 4th of November of 2019, which was roughly, that'd be about 13 months before my wife, Denise Irene Clark, died absent my company, because Judge Dan Casey in the 17th District of the Florida court system wouldn't let me come home, even though he had a notarized letter from a 30-plus year medical professional that said, Judge Casey, please release Field Mcconnell so he can come home and say goodbye to his wife. And the judge didn't do it. And he denied me freedom in a hearing that's on YouTube. I mean, I think you can still find it. Um, and then as soon as my wife died, he apologized to me. And can I get permission to give him a little bit of vintage Field Mcconnell now, Jenny?
Go for it.
Yeah, if that judge, we were being videotaped. I should have said, fuck you, Judge. You don't know your ass from third base, so get out of my face. But I didn't do that. I didn't think it would play well. But I hope it plays well on Jenny's show, because I'm not someone who's reluctant to bring a little heat to the burning down of the false prophets or the fake royals or the bad guys in the government of the United States of America. I've sort of made it my post-retirement passion. And I think I'm fairly good at it because, yeah, okay, I got arrested. Yes, okay. They prevented me from coming home to say goodbye to my wife, Denise Irene Clark. But I'm still alive, kicking. And she died of natural causes, specifically thyroid cancer. And so on the internet, there's been people that have said that, that Denise died because of my activism. That's absolute bullshit. She died of natural causes. And I know, because I'm the only husband she ever had, and she was the nicest wife I ever had. And we had I don't know if there's such a thing as a perfect marriage, but if there is, Denise and I had one for the 5.5 years we were married. Over to you, Jenny.
Thank you, Fields. And here's another thing, everybody. A lot of people ask me, like in emails or whatever. The question is, how do we know who to trust or who to trust? Right? Again, I can't tell you who to trust and who you feel comfortable listening to. I just say be careful. Messaging is always the key. If their messaging has been consistent and they've been saying the same thing since the time that you've been following them, then that's a great indication that they're on the right track. When they're flip flopping, going to the next best thing, or if they stay stuck on the same topic for a long time, just circling the drain about surface stuff, then maybe that's somebody that you don't want to follow. If they're constantly me, run as fast as you can. So yeah, there's I think the biggest thing, is the messaging and the consistency of how they are with their message, if it's consistent or not, and if they're a flip flopper or not. So I would say those would be the two top ones to look for when you're looking for people to follow. Um, but I really want to encourage people. Donald Trump and his Truth Social, everybody. He is on fire. He is telling us. I mean, he's coming out talking about this Wolf guy right now about with these Epstein files. So, and then he's talking a lot about the 2020 election. So, he's really giving us guys a lot of crumbs, if you will, but they're bigger than crumbs this time because I think we're there, everybody, where he feels a little bit more confident in telling us a little bit more directly, not quite direct, but he's telling us, everybody. So thank you, Mark, for always being here and sharing your information. Appreciate it. All
Thank
right,
you.
let's go into some questions here real quick. You feel I got a couple questions for you. And everybody, please feel free to raise your hand if you have a question for Fields. All right, Field. Here's one from Doug Woodstock 69. Field, do you know about how many people are in the witness protection program? Will any be revealed this year? Are any well known to the public and any clues?
Well, that was about 4 questions in one. But I think that all the people, no, I'm just trying to, I'm trying to be honest. Uh, if I sound like I'm being a wise ass or humorous, that's unintentional. But you did give me numerous questions, and I just, as I can remember them, I will try to address them.
Well, here, let's go,
Yeah,
let's go one by one. Okay, the first question, Field, do you know about how many people are in the witness protection program? That's number one.
yes, a whole shitload. Go ahead.
I love it. Will any be revealed this year?
Well, this year's 2026, so I think it's speculation, but I'm going to go out of my comfortable bubble and speculate that this is the year that they will all be exposed. And if it doesn't happen, you can blame me for being ill-informed or overly optimistic, but I think they will be explained and revealed. And I think some of the people that are in the witness protection are going to surprise a majority of the Americans. I'll just make a suggestion. If Michael Jackson were to be in the witness protection program, it would not surprise me. And by the way, I was in the witness protection program for 16 months. Over to you, Jenny.
Well, there you go. There's one of them that's well known. Field McConnell. Okay, hey, that's the next question. Are any so Field McConnell is one that's well known. Are any well known to the public? Number one, Field McConnell. Go ahead, Field.
Yeah, well, I'd be very surprised if Michael Jackson isn't only revealed, but exonerated, because now I'm going to throw you a curve and a crumb, but most of you people are young enough or old enough to know the Bee Gees, the four boys that were originally from England, then from Australia, and who topped the record charts in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And the only BG left alive, the two brothers, Robin and Maurice, passed away. And the youngest brother, Andy Gibb, he passed away. The only surviving BG is the oldest guy, born in 1947, whose name is, let me think of, oh, yes, Barry Gibb. And Barry Gibb is a wonderful singer, as were all three of his brothers. And when I finally get around to finishing the book, which is going to be a biography of Denise Irene Clark, I'm going to be putting a song at the beginning of it, which is How Do You Mend a Broken Heart by the Bee Gees. And I'm talking about my wife and my heart, because I've tried as hard as I could to mend my own heart, but I'm not a heart surgeon. I'm just a victim of heartbreak. And I'm going to use the Bee Gees music to mend my broken heart. And you'll see it in print when my book is published. Over to you, Jenny.
Thank you, Field. God bless you, my friend. Okay, and here's a question from daughter of a Korean war vet. Field, when will we see Trump go after the nursing homes for them draining our senior citizens of their retirement?
That's a question I never could answer, but I'll be interested in following it. I was not aware of that reality, if it in fact is a reality, and I have no reason to doubt it. But I think that anything that is done contrary to the benefit of we the people, I think Donald Trump will go after it and he'll win, because he's always on the right side. And the people that don't like Donald Trump, I would caution them. I said, don't go in your bathroom and look in the mirror. You might not like to see the asshole in front of you.
Thank you, Field. Okay, here's another one. This one is more of a statement from Cha. It says, Jenny, Captain Kyle has a video. Oh, I've seen this video from Nancy Drew where the background chat from the Capitol Police saying clear avenue for President Trump and Vice President Kennedy. This was in 2021 and 2022. Yeah, I remember seeing that. So yeah, that was pretty interesting. I remember that. That was loud and clear. Yep. Okay, here's a question. L, I just wanted to this is from L Field to you. I just wanted to let Field know that Julie Green, the prophet, made a prophecy about a week ago on her Rumble channel. She stated that JD Vance is a wolf in sheep's clothing and is not working for Trump's benefit. It's worth a listen to. Well, you know what? It's coming out, everybody, about that. And if you dig into his past and Peter Thiel is like his mentor, and then he is part of that ambrosia. He and Ramaswamy and others. It's a blood. I think it's adrenochrome company. So yeah. What are your thoughts on that, Field?
Well, that's an area of which I'm not well informed, but I'm really being blessed in your show today, or your podcast, because when I made the comment maybe 9 months ago that TJ Vance, or what's his name, DJ Vance, or whoever that candy ass is, I
JD.
pointed my what that?
JD Vance.
Yeah, and he said there is no JD Vance. You know, that's not his born name. And I'll repeat my born name, Field Mcconnell. I'm 76. And if I get credited with bringing down JD Vance, I will not be ashamed of myself, because I think that Donald John Trump is certainly better served by John F. Kennedy Jr., who I've been suggesting all along is the real vice president of the Republic of the United States of America. And I'll stand by that, you know. And of course, people can argue the timing of these things, but you can't really argue the facts that J.D. Vance is an imposter and that John F. Kennedy Jr. is a real person. And I don't care what color his hair is. I don't care if he's an Onassis. I wouldn't think so, because I'm young enough, or old enough. I guess it's old enough. I can remember when Jackie Kennedy married uh, Onassis, and I didn't recall that they had any kids. But maybe through the process of adoption, J.F. Kennedy Jr. became an Onassis. I don't know. These are open questions that I don't know the answer to. But somewhere in Jenny's uh, chat room, somebody knows the answer to all these questions that I may not know the answer to, because Jenny's chat room is extremely well informed, and they are articulate, and they find their way to communicate with me when they want to. Uh, you know, I am a real person, and I do have a real email address, and I do have a real phone number, and I'm I'm not shy about going after people that are trying to destroy my country, because as I said at the beginning of this podcast, if I were in charge of the Marine Corps today, I would change the motto from Semper Fidelis, which means always faithful, to dominate or die. Even if I had to figure out, you know, by talking to somebody that's articulate in Latin, and I could get the Latin words for dominate or die, that would be a little sexier and would bring more sauce to the recipe. But I'm very happy of, you know, doing my little part. And as soon as I said that, you're not going to believe this. There's a military helicopter flying over my house right now. And when I say oh no, it happens all the time. My house is on a beeline between Minneapolis St. Paul Airport and Volk, VOLK, Volk Field. Isn't that nice? Volk Field, Wisconsin. And these aircraft, whether they're helicopters or fixed wing aircrafts, like aircraft, plural, like a C-130, they operate under visual flight rules. And between Minneapolis Airport and Volk Field, my house is about mid distance, and it's the highest piece of terrain, and so it's very easy for pilots navigating under visual flight rules to stay on course. And I think it's absolutely hilarious that military aircraft are using my house for a navigational waypoint. And the only thing that I think is a bigger compliment is down there in Canton, Texas, Canton. And if you want to look it up, folks, Van Zandt, that's VAN space ZANDT, Van Zandt County Veterans Memorial. There's an F4 on a pole there, and its tail number is 640965. And 40965 is Denise's birthday. And somebody just drove in my driveway, but it's okay. It's not some mafia assassins. It's a propane delivery truck. So I guess I don't have to get out my AK-47. So it's nice to be living in a place where we have not only sufficient energy, but we have a very good distribution network. And, you know, I love living in Plum City, and there's going to be a small gathering at my house this spring. And do I know what date? No, but I know there's a woman named Shauna listening to me right now. And if she and her husband, Papa, call me later today, if they can find me, well, yeah, they can find me because I have my phone on me 24/7, even when I'm asleep. Uh, because I never know when somebody's going to find a tidbit. But Shauna, if you hear me, or Papa, if you hear me, I'm going to be asking you when in April it would be best for us to plan to have the gathering in Plum City. And I don't know how many people would be coming, but I know that I've had numerous people ask me about it. And I'm offering Shauna and her husband, Papa, the first vote for when it would be most convenient for them. Because, see, I'll be here all of April anyway, but April's a good month because the grass should be green and the monuments, there's 2 monuments in my front yard, one to Denise, who died, and one to me, who is alive and kicking temporarily. You know, I'll die someday. In fact, that reminds me of a song. One fine morning when my life is over, I'll fly away. Anyway, over to you, Jenny.
Thank you, Field. Real quickly, I want to kind of go back to JD Vance real quick, since we're talking a little bit about it. So this is my opinion and what I kind of think that's happening, because we're seeing a lot of the TPUSA, him really kind of getting involved over there. I do believe that Charlie Kirk was being propped up at some point to run for president. You hear people, some rumblings talk about that. I believe with the whole JD Vance thing, I believe that they're trying to get that base over there of Charlie's, that he had such a huge base. We saw that when that unfortunate incident happened, to get on, really rub up to the TPUSA people, and then Vance. So when it comes down to the voting, right, that base will vote for Vance. However, I believe things are going to change dramatically with our entire whole voting system, with us seeing vice presidents, presidents, all that stuff, cabinets. I believe our government is going to be 10% of what it is now. It's going to look completely different. It's not going to be the same. I don't believe that we will get that far, because I think our government's going to change that much in between now and then, even up to our midterms. I do believe Trump is going to play a 5D chess move, as he always does. He's always ahead of these people. That's going to put a cork in these midterms. However, I still encourage everybody to go out there and vote. If it's looking like we are going to have them, go out there and definitely cast your vote. But I do believe Trump, however, whatever way he does it, if we do have that midterm, he's going to put throw a wrench in it. And it could be the 2020 election fraud that comes out, because what does fraud do? It vitiates everything. I do believe he's going to put it to where the Democrats just cannot win, because of the stuff that's going on, and now with these Epstein files coming out being unredacted. But I do believe, Peter Thiel, like I said, he's Palantir. He is JD's mentor. You look into Erica Kirk's past, a lot of nefarious stuff is coming out about her and her family. So this is why I tell everybody, don't stay stuck on the surface stuff. If you look deeper, you're gonna find this stuff, and you're gonna find the ties to, like I said, Vivek Ramaswamy with Ambrosia. And I just believe there's a lot of people out there that are being it's their time for such a time as this, right, to be used for useful idiots. So I do believe that there are some people that are around Trump that are compromised, but are being used for those useful idiots. So keep that in mind, everybody. That's my thought process. That's my opinion. And I said it for a long time. Our government's going to be 10% of what it is now. All right, Miss Southern Gal, Patty, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Howdy, howdy, guys, and hello to Jenny. And Phil, you sound fantastic. It is so great to hear you sound so wonderful. I'm so happy. That's awesome.
Well, thank you. And my secret nutritional additive is I had a big cup of coffee right before we started. So my throat and my esophagus are accommodating me today. And I know exactly who you are. And you'll be happy to know that I've got my Marine Corps money clip right next to me where I'm sitting. I'm just looking around for it. I'll find it. Okay, I found it. Uh, and I got that as a gift from you and your 92-year-old Marine father. And I think that his 93-year-old Marine roommate probably is aware of my name. And so, for the second time in today's broadcast, I'll just make a statement which is rather crucial, at least coming out of my mouth. Uh, I would stand beside Trump anytime and take a bullet for him. He's the greatest politician that and I don't like politicians, but he's not a politician. Actually, he's a chief executive officer. And there's a big difference. Politicians do whatever the boss wants, and chief executive officers do whatever the mission needs. And I've got immense respect for Donald John Trump. And the White Hats know I do. And the White Hats have custody of 350 letters that I wrote, and I addressed them from Field Mcconnell, USMC 0116513, to President Donald John Trump at the White House. And I wrote those letters during his first term. And if I can get all 350 letters back, I'll publish a book with no narrative, a little bit of an introduction perhaps, but otherwise just the 350 letters, because they are part of history. I did write them. It's my signature on them. And so they're my property. And I have two areas where I think I can find them. One's over in Japan and one's in Arizona. But I think the military White Hats have all 350 letters uh, because there was a lot of real intelligence in there. I'll get off my high horse now and turn it over to you, Jenny.
Okay, so can I finish chatting, Jenny?
Yeah,
Are you
go
good?
ahead.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, my dad and his roommate would gladly go right back out there as Marines if they were able, trust me. And I wanted to say to you, Field, after you talked about 107, I did do the gematria on 107. Are you ready to hear it?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Is she playing something?
I think she just sent me 2 links, but I don't know that. I'm not going to confuse myself. I'll just speak and I'll ask her, Patty, did you just send me something?
We can't hear you, Patty. We heard you, and then and then you were gone. Now you're gone. Okay, Patty, Cal, go ahead until Patty comes back in. Go ahead, Cal.
Field, I just wanted to say I was so edified to hear what you said about Michael Jackson, because again, in the documentary Melania, all the music they played in there were clues to me. And she played the Billie Jean song. She said her favorite person was Michael Jackson. I think that's a hint. They also played the music of Elvis, and I believe he was alive or still is alive. I don't know if he'll ever come forward, but my connections and what I think from what I've done is that Michael Jackson and Lisa Marie Presley married because they were working for a long time with Donald Trump to weed out this evil. And I think it's all connected. And I'm so thankful that you said that.
Well, first of all, thank you for being thankful to me. And second of all, just like every other human in America, my statements are always subject to review, but I tend not to say things that I can't prove or defend in court, and assuming that the court is a constitutionally aligned court of the Republic of the United States of America. So it's my pleasure to brighten your day a little bit, and you've brightened my day a whole lot. So thank you for your kind words.
No, thank you. Thank you for all that you've told us and let us be able to figure things out. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank,
You're very much welcome.
thank you, Cal. All right, Miss Patty, go ahead. You're back.
Okay, so did you guys hear what I said about my dad and his roommate?
You were going to play something. That's where we lost you.
Okay, I was going to tell, first of all, I want to make sure Field knows that my dad and his roommate that are Marines would gladly go back to the front lines if they were able for President Trump, number one. Number two, I was going to do the gematria for Field on 107. So it is 163, and I learned how to do gematria from Michael Bryan Protzman, negative 48. So here we go. And I'm going to say the number after each statement I make. Make America Great Again, 163. Alice in Wonderland, 163. Jesus is Coming, 163. The Seal is Broken, 163. Believe in Miracles, 163. All Glory to God, 163. God is Really Here, 163. Full Armor of God, 163. Grand Master Plan is 163. All Must Choose, 163. The last couple, We Shall Prevail, 163. American Patriot, 163. That is all the gematria for 107, and there's many, many more. So I just wanted to share.
Thank you. And you've really helped lift my spirits today. And I didn't start this show with my spirit, in the gutter. It's just that the abuse of what America could be has been hard on me. And so it's nice and refreshing to hear 107 and 163, because they lead me to believe that God is here and his spirit is here, and we shall prevail. And who's we? Well, in this case, we are the patriot uh, citizens that are Christians. And you know what? If somebody's not a Christian, don't feel bad, because you can be one by getting on your knees in a dark space where you will not be interrupted and pray to God that he'd take control of your spirit from this point forever. Um, and he will. And how do I know that? The day that I met my wife, Denise, over in England, she asked me a favor. And I said, "What's the favor? And I'll do it if I can." She said, "Can you lead me to Jesus Christ?" And I said, "That's the easiest thing I can do." And I took her to her kitchen, and I had her start her laptop up, and I gave her a couple of scriptures to look up. And I said, "Okay, Denise, now you've been introduced to Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior. And if you pray to him, not for my benefit, but for yours, sometime when I'm not around, just open your heart to Jesus Christ and invite him in, and he will come in and he will take you forever." And, it wasn't more than 5 years and 6 months, and Jesus Christ took her home. And I know that because when I got home from being in jail in Florida, unlawfully, I might add, thank you, Judge Dan Casey, you weasel. Yeah, I got home and I was so weak and my balance was so bad I couldn't even go up my own stairway. I had to scoot up backwards. Then I had to crawl into the master bedroom. Then I had to really exert myself to get up into my bed. And when I got there, I looked over on Denise's bedside table, and I saw 2 Bibles that hadn't been there when I was arrested, and her reading glasses. And so when you take all of that, together, that proves to my satisfaction that Denise not only found her way to Jesus, but then Jesus took her home. And it's hard for me to talk about that without crying, so I apologize for my weakness. Over to you, whoever I'm talking to.
No worries. Thank you. Thank you, Fields. All right, let's
You're
see. I've
welcome.
got Tina Elkin. Oh, wait, Stephanie, your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Hi, thank you. Field, I love you. Jenny, thank you so much. And
Of
I
course.
I have questions sometimes during the week, but sometimes they seem rather out on the fringe, and so I listen to you only. But you're always in my heart and in my prayers, Field. And is there anything that you would like to talk on that you didn't mention today, Field?
I heard your question. No, I don't think so. The 2 things I wanted to point out today was JFK Jr. perhaps being the sitting vice president right now, and the fact that I exposed the switcheroo with Jeffrey Epstein the day it happened, or actually the day before it happened. So it makes me feel good when things I report are proven to be true. And so, is there any subject that you'd like me to consider going forward, young lady?
Oh, well, I am very interested in not only the disclosures, I too, like you, am looking to see the disclosures coming out of President Trump, things that many of us have already learned about, but some of the things that are about the deeper nature of our reality, and in a godly way, of course. And so those are the things I'm interested in. And one thing I would love to see, if you ever want to share, a picture of you when you first were in the military. I don't really have a reason for it other than I would just like to be able to kind of have that in my heart. And yeah, those are the things that yes, that's it. Thank you.
Well, I can take care of the picture right now if Jenny agrees. Jenny, if I send you a picture of me taken in Beeville, Texas, which is a naval air station in Beeville, which is a real town, could you post that somewhere on your wall?
Yes.
Okay. I know exactly the picture I'm going to send you. And there's a little bit of history about this picture. Somebody who likes what I do and understands how I do what I do think that that's a very nice picture of me. And see, I'm not the type of guy that looks at my own pictures and said, oh, that's nice or that's ugly. It's a picture of me, and it's a camera, and cameras don't lie. So I will, I hope I remember today before this. Well, no, I think I'll remember as soon as this radio show's over. I think I can send that to Jenny, and Jenny can post it at her convenience. And I will give a little bit of a narrative of why that picture was taken and when. And somebody thought it was a good picture of me, but I don't know. I don't kiss my own rear end, but I don't hide from the truth either. So over to you, Jenny.
Thank you, Fields. All right. Thank you, Stephanie. All right, Tina Elkins, go ahead. Your mic is unmuted.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Phil. You know I love you. I love everybody here. Jenny. First off, I want to say I would take a bullet for President Trump any day. Also, and probably every one of you guys. But I wanted to comment on the Jackie Kennedy thing. About 3 years ago, Patrick Kennedy told us that there was no way in hell that Jackie Kennedy would ever marry anybody. And she would not disgrace her husband like that. That Onassis pretended to marry her to take her off for protection on his island, and that a bunch of family members were there also. So he was keeping them protected, according to Patrick Kennedy. And 107. Zeros does not count in gematria ever, no matter what the number is. So that's 17. 17 is Q. So there you go. We know who Q is.
Yes, well, that's your investigative skills are quite good, because I just learned a lot from you in a very brief segment of time. So thank you for enlightening me.
Thank you, Tina. All right, Miss Eva, go ahead. Your mic is unmuted.
Well, hi, Jenny. Hi, Field. Hope you guys are having a good day. Field, mine isn't about what's going on in the world, what kind of is, but this here is from one widow to a widower. Never apologize for shedding your tears, because I mean, you know, every time you shed a tear, it's the love that you have for your wife. Don't ever feel embarrassed or ashamed or, apologize for it, because nobody can tell you how you feel. You're feeling what you feel. It's because you love your wife and you still love her and you miss her, just like I love and miss my husband. And every tear I shed for him is the love that I felt. I just wanted to say that. Please never apologize, okay?
Well, thank you. And, you've moved me. I was going to say you've moved me to tears, but you don't want to hear that. So I'll retract that statement. But I do appreciate your support. And I'll tell you something that's personal. I love Denise so much that since she passed away on December 30th of 2020, I've not been with another female, uh, and I don't want to be. I avoid it like the plague. Not that I have people chasing me around hoping they can catch me. First of all, anybody trying to catch me would have a nefarious purpose. So they're not going to catch me. And I'm not going to submit to anybody, because as is clearly evident by my voice breaking when I mention my wife. My heart belongs to Denise Irene Clark Mcconnell. And that's why there is a marble slab in my front yard. And it's not clearly visible because it's flat in the earth. But it's right next to another marble slab with my details on it. Because after I had her slab in the ground for a couple of years, I thought, I wonder if Denise gets lonely, because I know where Denise is. She's in heaven. And I know that Denise's body is not the same body that I used to enjoy. Uh, she was cremated. I've got both urns of her ashes in my living room. And if anybody comes to visit me, they can ask to see them. And I'll point them out. We can see them from anywhere in the living room. But yeah, I think when a man loves a woman, that reminds me of a song. When a man loves a woman. Yeah, anyway, when a man loves a woman, I think you should love her. Uh, and I don't think you should use her or take advantage of her or lie to her. I think you should love her. And that's what I did with Denise Irene Clark. McConnell. I loved her past tense and I love her current tense. Over to you, young lady.
Oh, where'd she go? Go ahead,
She
Eva.
went to heaven. What?
No, I was talking about Eva. Go ahead, Eva.
Yeah, Jenny, usually you see me over, in over on X. I have a little doe as my background, but this one here was created for me for somebody who is in another group that I'm in on Telegram. But anyway,
Oh yeah.
Phil, yeah, but Phil, I listen. I try to listen to you every week because you inspire me. I mean, you've been through a lot, and I try to tell people at work what I learned from you. I'm like, go check out Phil McConnell. But I'm called a conspiracy theorist. I mean, I even heard Friday, from one of the supervisors at night. They're like, people come to her and say, "How do you put up with Eva's conspiracy theories all the time?" Because I mean, I keep, for one thing, to me, I try to tell them, I'm not conspiring with anybody to commit a crime because that's what conspiracy is. Conspiracy theories are. And then to me, I know that the CIA come out with it back when Kennedy was assassinated, quote unquote, was assassinated to make people like you and me who are trying to tell the truth look like we're crazy. But but I still keep on keeping on because it, there was I don't want to make it long, but how I got involved in all of this was I was watching videos, music videos on YouTube, sad, not sad, but rock and roll videos, that sing about loving people or loving, losing your loved one, which my husband, his name's John. Oh my gosh, John Donald F. I won't say his last name, but um, he was the love of my life, and he died on July 29th, 30th. And the reason why I say that is because he died in my arms in our bed, and he was brought back to life. Well, not back to life because he died then. I feel, but they put him on life support, and I had to make the decision the next day to take him off life support. And he held on as I laid in the hospital bed with him for 4 hours and 20 minutes until I told him it was okay to go. And that was the hardest thing I ever had to do in my life. I mean, I've lost my brother, I've lost my grandparents, I've lost my mother. I mean, you name it. I've had, murders, suicides, happen. But my husband, it's the worst grief I'll ever know. And but I was watching the videos. It was like he was tapping me on the head, saying, "Hey, pay attention." And then I got involved in watching videos with the Canada, the truckers going all the way up to Ottawa, Freedom Convoy 2022, which led me to the People's Convoy, which led me here and there. And from the People's Convoy, it led me, to Derek Johnson, to even here with Jenny. And I just wanted to be a widow, left alone, live out the rest of my life, just going on with the way things were, not that I was living in a bubble. I mean, I have a hard time of getting up out of bed every day just to move forward, but I know that I have to. I have no choice. But if it wasn't for my husband saying, "Hey, pay attention to what's going on," which we knew what happened back in 2011 was
Eva, I don't mean to cut you off, sweetie, but I've got another show to get ready for, so I apologize. I don't you go ahead and finish, but I want to let you know I got another show I got to get ready for, so
Okay, well, I'll make it quick. I just want to say, my heart goes out to you, Field, and know that you're not alone.
Thank you. I know I'm not alone because Denise, her spirit is in this house and in this yard, and she manifests herself sometimes as butterflies and sometimes as bald eagles. But when I see a butterfly approaching me directly, I say, "Hello, Denise, I see you." And when I see bald eagles over my house, I know that Denise is protecting me. And and if I cry easy, I'm not going to apologize. That's how much I love Denise. So I understand how much you love your husband. Thank you. Over to you, Jenny.
Thank you, Field, and everybody here. Field is with us every week. God bless you, Field. We love you. I love you. We'll see you next Monday.
Yes, I'll be here, alive and well.
You sound great today, and you have a great week. I'll be in touch with you on the background. And everybody here, come back for John Baxter. We will have Derek Johnson on as well. He told us the last time he was on, he needed to switch it to 5:30. And I do have on the show lineup 5:30 Central Standard Time. However, it might be pushed back to 6:30, so there's a bit of a conflictingness here right now with the time. But watch for my post when I put it out, when like I do, put your questions here. Obviously we don't really do questions with Derek, but maybe I'll try to get some in today. But it's watch for that post, guys, so I'll get confirmation on it, whether it's 5:30 Central Standard Time or 6:30. So with that, everybody, God bless you. Have a great day. Again, be careful who you listen to, who you follow, what you're putting in your mind, guys. It's a thing. And we love you, Field. God bless you. We'll see you on Monday.
I'll see you on Monday. Thank you, Jenny. God bless you too.
Thank you, Field.